Hi guys, welcome back to Storytime Society. I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you're alive on this planet. We love you. I always say we, me and my cats that are literally sitting in a circle around me right now. But I have my coffee today. Unfortunately, I was going to film like 2 hours ago, and then my boyfriend came home, so we ate dinner. And then my mics died, so then I had to charge them. And now I'm just now starting filming, and I'm almost drank all my coffee, but should I be having coffee right now? No, because it's 7:49 p.m., and I literally, claim that I have sleeping problems, claim that I can never sleep. I wonder why. Maybe because you're sipping a damn coffee at literal 8 p.m. on a Thursday night. Who knows? But anyways, there were some things I was going to say, and, I always end up forgetting, and it's so annoying. It's like, hello? Anybody there? I was going to update you guys. First of all, I don't know if you guys actually have, the craziest story, and I'm so excited to read it, because I will admit I did read this one, because I was filming for my TikTok, and after I read this, I was like, I can't not tell this on the podcast. This has to be a podcast story. But I don't know if any of you guys are watching Love Island, or were watching Love Island. It's way over now, but it's been consuming my life still. I've been watching every single interview that they're on, especially Leah. And Rob and Nessa Barrett in the music video. It came out today. And I was literally I couldn't even listen to the song because I was so paying attention to the music video. It was so risque, and I just wasn't expecting that. But go off. I'm not me and my friend were a big Rob stans when we were watching the show, even though he's obviously toxic, but that's just how it works sometimes. But we were standing him up until the end because we wanted them to get back together. And why would I ever want that? That's toxic. No. Now that I've been watching interviews and stuff of Leah talking about everything, I'm nope. I'm not really a big Rob stan anymore. Individually maybe, but I don't know. I don't know about him anymore. So, Poppy, I swear if you meow at the door, I'm going to be very upset at you. Okay, I think that's really it for the updates. I really don't have much to say. My mom's coming in a couple days. I still haven't decided if I'm going to film with her or not. I'm going to ask her and see, what she thinks, but I don't know. I feel I want to have really good stories for when she comes on, but so that she can have, some opinions, but I don't know. I don't know how she'll feel. I don't know if she'll be nervous to, film and stuff, because obviously my mom's, she's not a social media person or anything. And yeah, but we're gonna just hop into the story. If you haven't already, subscribe. Comment down below as we're going through the episode, and let me know what your thoughts are of the stories, and obviously like the video, maybe share it with, hey, you guys, no be mean. She's in there, puppy. You're so rude. She's so rude. I don't know why. I think she's just very vocal with her, hissing for some reason. And I don't know why, but we still love her. She doesn't really mean it. I don't think she means it that way. I think she's just, she hisses often to express her emotions. But, she's not really mean. Only to guests. She is mean kind of to guests. If they don't pay attention to her, she's not mean. She'll just sit there and she'll lay there. But if they try to pet her, she's pissed. The first time, if you reach your hand out and you try to pet her, it depends who you are. She might let you pet her, but then she will, if you keep trying to pet her, because she doesn't really love being pet all the time. She has her moods a couple times a day where she wants to be pet, but she will literally flip on a guest. She won't actually bite them, but she will scare them. She'll be, growling and hissing at them and, kind of like come at them, but she never like actually attacks them. But let me know like let me know if you guys have any suggestions, because I know a lot of you guys are cat people. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions about like, I don't know, how to make her more friendly. Like, we tried to socialize her when she was growing up, and maybe that's where we made our first mistake. But when we got her, she was only 8 weeks old. She was a tiny little baby at the shelter, and she was like in one of those separate like enclosures, and I think it was because she'd been recently fixed or something. But I think she'd been like in the little like glass, I think she'd been like the like separated from kittens for a while. And when we got her, like, she was just a single kitten in just like a little like glass box. And I feel like that's part of it, is because she wasn't really like socialized, whereas like the other two grew up with like their brother and sisters in the litter, and they were like very much in an open environment with a bunch of kittens. Like, these old ladies fostered them and stuff. So I don't know, Puppy gets along with both of our cats. Like, they never fight. She doesn't fight with them, but she will let them know like, stop bothering me. But she plays with both of them. She's a lot more like just independent. She like Frankie and Willa are more like together more often and playing more often, but Poppy's more like she likes to be on her own. She doesn't like to be like bothered that much. But she's still such a sweet girl, and I love her so much. And like, she does not really like guests. It just depends, like I said, who you are. But if you like if you antagonize her, is that what the word is? I think so. She gets really pissed, like really pissed. So I don't know if there's anything I can do about that, but I love her, and she loves me, and she loves my boyfriend. So I think that's all that really matters. I just don't want our guests to be scared like of her, because I love her and she's so sweet. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna start getting into the story, because my boyfriend was here. I am. I said I'm gonna start getting into the story, and then I start talking again, probably because I've had too much coffee today. But my boyfriend was like, I was watching your video, and you kept saying you're going to get into the story, and then you kept going into little rants after that. And I was like, yeah, I do that a lot, actually. Sorry. He also said that I seem nervous. I was like, I'm not nervous when I'm filming. Like, I'm literally the least nervous I could ever be in the world. I'm in a room by myself, talking to myself, which is like, I feel like my natural habitat. But now we're really going to start, okay? We're going to start. So this was posted 9 days ago on the Am I the Asshole thread. And I'm just excited for you guys to read the update after this story, because the story is like, okay, it's like, okay, that's like a little weird. But then the update is like, okay, what the fuck? So, am I the asshole for thinking about breaking up with my boyfriend because of his sister? Posted in another group, but wanted to get more options. So I've, 21 female, been dating my boyfriend Chris, 24 male, for the last year. We started off as friends with benefits, but decided to give it a try about 3 months into it. A couple of months ago, he introduced me to his family. I was nervous because I'm not close with my family, and he is the complete opposite. I wanted so badly to make a good impression because they mean so much to him. His mom, dad, and 2 younger brothers are great, but it's his older sister that's the problem. I could tell from the first day that we met that she hated me. She was cold and slightly standoffish. Now, I'm a huge overthinker, so I just let it go, just assuming that she would warm up to me eventually. His family eventually invited me to family dinners every Saturday night. One dinner, my boyfriend jokingly said that his sister and I should do something together to get to know each other. She said that she would never hang out around me willingly and stormed out. No explanation. The dinner was pretty tense after that, but no one even acknowledged it. When he dropped me off, I asked about it, and he said his sister was just really protective of him. After that, anytime I was in the same room with his sister, she would storm off. The only time she could be in the room with me is for dinners. Honestly, it was okay with me. So, they were talking about their family trip during dinner one night. They asked me if I'd ever been to Cabo and if I wanted to go. His sister interrupted and asked where I would even sleep. My boyfriend laughed and said I would stay with him in his room. This set her off, and she started yelling that it was a family trip and I was trying to steal her brother from his family. We ended up leaving, but again, no explanations, no excuses, and no apologies. After that day, I started to get calls and texts every day from random numbers. The texts were mildly threatening, but nothing too crazy. I didn't even think that it could be his sister until I verified that I would be going with them on the trip last month. This flipped a switch, and the text started to get very scary, basically saying to leave my boyfriend or things would happen. I asked my boyfriend if he thought it could be his sister, and he just denied it and said it was probably someone trolling me. He explained that his sister is just jealous because he's spending more of his time with me. That she would never do anything like that. It wasn't until I was walking out of work last week and saw my car was keyed with the words homewrecker. I just know it's her, but I don't know how to tell my boyfriend so that he'll believe me. Should I go to the police? I don't know what I can even do. I really love him, but I'm scared his sister will do something to me. Also, what if it's not his sister? I don't even know what to think. So obviously that story is just weird as it is. Like, why would your sister be so jealous? And like, it's so funny because me and my friends in high school, there was a couple, well, mainly just one girl actually, but we would literally always say like, I think she wants to fuck her brother, because she would be like jealous if like any of her friends, or like she would be jealous if anyone hooked up with him. She was like jealous of girls that hooked up with him. And like, obviously she wasn't like jealous. She wasn't saying she was jealous because of that, but like, and she was like obsessed with him. Like, she wanted everyone to know that that was her brother. She was just, it was just weird. Like, it gave weird vibes. And me and my friends were always like, she wants to fuck her brother. Like, I think he was like a really popular kid in our school and like really outgoing. A lot of girls like had crushes on him and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't really think that, but like we kind of were like, stuff is sus with the way that she like acts with him. Like, she just acts like she like is obsessed with him, and no other girl can have him. Like, I don't know. It was just weird, but we would joke about that sometimes. Like, there are those kind of sisters sometimes though, like where it seems like, or like, are you like, do you want to fuck your brother? Like, I don't really get it. It's just like kind of, let me know if you guys understand what I'm saying, but some girls just like give that vibe where they're so obsessed with their brother. Like, I have a brother, and the way that I would compare would be like, I would just relate it to my brother, and I'd be like, I would never act that way with my brother. Like, I would never be like, you cannot hook up with my brother. I literally don't give a fuck if you hook up with my brother. I mean, like, I would rather just not know, because I don't want to think about my brother hooking up with anyone. Literally take him. I don't care. Like, I would root that on. Like, go ahead. I want my brother to be happy with the girl. Like, I don't know. But yeah, it was always a little bit odd. Okay, let's read some of the comments before we get into the update, but the update is definitely juicy. Okay. Top comment says, go to the police. This isn't normal behavior and you don't feel safe. It's your human right to feel safe in your daily life. If your boyfriend doesn't immediately support you and show a sense of concern and care for you, dump him. He isn't required to hate her or sever their relationship, but he shouldn't hesitate to show you his full support. The family should have sorted this out long ago. Most importantly, you have a right to feel safe, and you don't owe her the benefit of the doubt. Do what you must to be safe as soon as possible. Call the police and report it. Are there cameras in the businesses where you parked? Tell the boyfriend that you have reason to be scared because you don't know who it is. You're going straight to the police so that they can pull any footage. If he says not to, you have your answer. There would be no reason to stop you if it's not her. Keep everything and pics of your car to show his parents how somebody is scaring you. See what their reaction is. I'm getting scared that this microphone is going to die randomly because it was like dead before I started filming. Okay, don't even tell the boyfriend, just go to the police. Adding on to that, I feel like OP should just tell her boyfriend that whoever it is needs to be stopped because this is getting scary and it's escalating. Inform him that when you go to the police, do this like yesterday. If they ask you if anyone dislikes you, you will be mentioning his sister, but that you aren't necessarily blaming her. In my opinion, it is, and she's weirdly in love with her brother, really wondering if they are trauma bonding or something. Lived apart growing up, one of them gave the other a kidney, etc. You are just not going to lie. As a boyfriend has vouched for her, of course, you both know that it's just a formality at this point, right? And if they did investigate her, it wouldn't harm her in any way. So really, what's the harm? Okay, now let's get to the update because this shit is crazy. Like, it genuinely is crazy. Okay. Update. Am I the asshole for thinking about breaking up with my boyfriend because of his sister? Update. I'm literally sick to my stomach right now. Trigger warning for some pretty gross stuff. So, like a couple of you guys suggested, I went to the police station to make a report. I did tell them my suspicions, but without any concrete proof, there was nothing they could do. I told my boyfriend that I made the report, and he got really upset at me. I've never seen him as mad as he was at this moment. A couple of days after, his mom reached out to me and asked if I could come have a conversation with them. When I get there, his mom lets me in, and my boyfriend, his dad, his brothers, and his sisters, and his sister are sitting at the table. I cannot express how uncomfortable I felt. I just wanted to get this over with and go home. I don't even know how to articulate the shit that they unloaded on me like it was normal. So they sit me down and explained to me that they all engage in an open family. If you are confused, well, so was I. To make a long story short, they are having sexual relations with each other. They go on to explain this is my boyfriend's first serious relationship and his sister is just feeling left out because he stopped sleeping with her when we got together. They went on to explain that if I can just give my boyfriend permission to continue their arrangement, everyone would be happy. I honestly didn't even know how to react. I literally felt sick. I asked if I could get some time to arrange my thoughts. When I got home, my boyfriend called and explained that he was scared to tell me, that he never wanted me to know. He made it clear that he has never slept with anyone while we've been together. He also admitted that he knew it was his sister sending me the threats, and if I just agreed to the arrangement, she would chill out. I asked him if that's what he wanted. He told me he never liked the situation, but he loves his family, and that's just what they do in his family. I told him I don't think that I'm okay with this. Like, if we have kids, will they be dragged into this effed up lifestyle? He assured me once his sister started dating, we would be able to distance ourselves. That was 2 days ago. They have been calling me nonstop. I'm just contemplating just blocking them and putting this all behind me. I don't know what to do to fix this. I'm just going to take a moment of silence because that literally was not what I was expecting. When I read that first story, I was like, wow, what a fucking weirdo. Like, obviously she's obsessed with her brother, but never in a million years was I expecting this family to sit this girl down and say, yeah, we're just an open family, so we all just like sleep together. What do you mean you all just sleep together? Why are you acting like that's normal? That's literally not normal at all. Like, are you okay? So, blah, 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 blah. It's literally disgusting. Okay, this is the last update that she's posted so far. This was posted a day ago. Ay, ay, ay. Update number 2. Am I the asshole for thinking about breaking up with my boyfriend because of his sister? I just wanted to clear a couple things up after my last update today, as well as responding to some comments. I don't believe I articulated what I needed to say clearly. I want to clarify that his brothers are 22 and 19. I have no idea when this started, and yes, everyone was involved. To the comments asking why I don't just block him and go on with my life. Honestly, I'm scared he is really all I have, and the idea of starting over was just a lot. Like I said previously, I'm not close with my family, and I've been no contact with them since. I was abused as a child, so please believe if there were any children being hurt, I would have reported it immediately. So I understand how it feels when you want to get out of a situation and feel stuck. That is another reason I felt I could help. I don't want to drag in my friends because this is getting scary and I'm not too close to them. I also want to say I in no way condone what is going on, and it makes me sick to think that this was happening behind the scenes. I really feel bad for my boyfriend and thought if I could get him support or help him get over this, we could just leave and be normal. I got a lot of comments stating that this was fake, and I really wish that it was. I feel dumb and gross for wanting to fix the situation, but I think if he gets away from his family, it will get better. The reason I believe they told me is because I had already made a police report and his sister's behavior was escalating. I think they believed that this was the lesser of two evils and that I would drop the charges. That is only a guess. My boyfriend asked me to meet him and his brother John and his brother's girlfriend Sarah to talk later today. I'm going to break up with him, but I want to see if I can get him some help. I love him, but I do see this as a situation that I cannot help with. I mean, I understand wanting to get him help because obviously, like, although he's old enough, I don't know how old he is. Wait, actually, sorry. I'm annoying. I do, but I just don't remember how old he is. 24. And then his brothers are 22 and 19. So, like, obviously they're old enough to, they're not minors, but I'm assuming they were minors. This isn't just now starting. Like, that doesn't just happen after you turn 18. You've been growing up around this type of, like, this type of environment. That's why you think it's normal. That's why this family thinks it's normal. Like, oh, that's just what me and my family do. No one would think that. Because if you grew up in a normal family that didn't do that, and then you were all of a sudden 19 and 22 and 24, and they were like, we're all going to sleep with each other, you would not think that's normal. You think it's normal because you've been growing up with these fucking crazy ass parents that make you think that it's normal to sleep with your family. Like, I'm literally so concerned, and I feel like I need more details because, and not saying that like I want to like think about that, but are the brothers and the sisters, they're all sleeping together, and then are they sleeping with the parents? Like, that's child abuse, right? I mean, I guess they're not children, but like there has to be something. There has to be something wrong. Like, you should be going to jail is what I would like to say. It's not okay in any sense of the matter. Like, what? These kids, I feel so bad for them because obviously this girl, I highly doubt she's ever going to start dating because she is probably sleeping with all three of her brothers and she's obsessed with them at this point. She's like something, I don't even know what to say because this is like the craziest thing ever. I've never ever heard of a situation like this. Like, I've heard of like, I mean, we've read like stories of incest before, but never like this. Like, more that they like started randomly a long time ago, but no one knows about it, and it's just like that they did this. I don't even know. But it's never been like, oh yeah, we're just an open family. What do you mean? You made that term up. That's literally not a real term. Like, what are you talking about? Like, let me just look up on Google. What is an open family? I'm scared. Is it real? I'm really scared. Okay. Let's see. If a family has permeable and vague boundaries, it is considered open. Open boundary system allows elements and situations outside the family to influence it. It may even welcome external influences. Closed boundary system isolate. I don't know what that means. What do you think are the benefits? Stop, I'm scared. It says the open and open family refers to family boundaries. Not freaking sleeping with each other. What do you think are the benefits to having an open family lifestyle? Do you mean an open relationship where both partners have sex with other partners? Firstly, it's not a health lifestyle. You need one hell of a... Okay, what? In an open family environment, how soon will you start? Does open family environment mean the parents have an open relationship, each party being able to date others besides... See, I don't see anyone saying anything about sleeping with your family. That's insane. No. Nothing ever could ever convince me that that's normal. If my boyfriend told me that, I would literally be so sick to my stomach. I would be so sick and I would be so scared. I'd be like, the fact that he's like thinking that that's normal, like he's not even thinking like, he's saying like, oh yeah, when she starts dating, like it's fine, we can distance ourselves. What? No, like, he obviously is so deep into this. He thinks that it's normal that he's sleeping with his sister and that his sister's like freaking out because you got a girlfriend and you've been spending more time with your girlfriend and not sleeping with your sister anymore. And he just thinks that's like whatever. That's like the scariest thing is that he's 24 and he still thinks that this is normal. I think it's going to take a lot to like unlearn that. Okay. Let's read some of the comments on this one. You shouldn't meet with them, but if you do, do it in a public space. And if you are in a one-party consent jurisdiction, record the conversation. Do not be alone with any of these people in a private place. Go to a public park. Yes, do that. And get them to admit that the sister keyed your car. I have a bad feeling about this one. She describes how uncomfortable she felt in the house before anything was said, and somehow rambles on and on about loving the same guy who gaslighted her. Who gaslit her about everything about his sister, which he knew about and lied to her face about, even only by omission at the very least. And then hears that he asked her to meet him and his brother, who are both in on the incest, and the brother's girlfriend, who at the very least seems complicit. I could give plenty things to do, but the mere fact that she walked away from that house and did not break up via text, if ever it was appropriate, this was it, and block every, and even after all that, she has still not till now broken up with all the free advice given. I'm going to just get entertained with this one and not offer advice. OP is lonely per her post. She says she has no one else. She needs to get some hobbies, pets, and hopefully some friends. I feel like this is the moment where it's like you should go to your friends even if you aren't close, because this situation and you telling your friends about this, like, and confiding in them is going to make your friendships a lot stronger. You know, like, this is the kind of stuff that you go and you, like, talk to your friends about, because, like, who the F else are you going to talk to about besides, like, a therapist, which you should also do. But I need an update so bad, and the fact that there isn't one is, like, killing me. Like, I am shookity wookity. I don't see any other posts. Yeah, this is definitely real. I feel like it is real. Like, I feel like her doubling down on the fact that it's not fake definitely means that it's real. But I don't know, you guys. That's just the craziest. Oh my God. Okay. Now let's just make this a theme. I don't really love this theme, but we're just going to go with it, okay? My 27 female husband, 24 male, is cheating on me with his brother. Now you see what the theme is. Original post is July 25th, 2020, okay? So this one's an old one, but there's a lot of updates. English isn't my first language, so sorry for any mistakes. Obviously, this is a throwaway. Okay, so this sounds crazy, and I know it, but let me explain. The last 24 hours or so have been pure hell for me, and I'm tired and I cry constantly. As a background, we've been married for 5 years, together for 8. Been in an open relationship for 3 years. We're both bisexual, and I'm more than happy that he can explore that side of him with other men, as I'm able to do the same with women. We have rules, though. We've agreed that we're going to tell each other when we hook up with people. So my husband has an older brother, Marcus, who turned 32 during my absence. They were planning on celebrating together and having fun, i.e. drinking, which was fine with me. I wished them a happy time and hoped that they had fun. To the story, a week ago I drove several hours to see my sick mother. I left my husband home as he's working from home and couldn't come with me. Also, my mother dislikes him as he's a foreigner. I texted Marcus to wish him a happy birthday, and he didn't reply. I thought he was out drinking and didn't really think much of it. But I came back a day earlier, yesterday, than was planned, and I was going to surprise my husband. I entered our house, and I heard some noises, sex noises. I was confused because my husband hadn't told me that he was going to see someone. I kind of brushed it off, thinking it was just him pleasuring himself in watching some corn. All's good. 20 to 30 minutes later, my husband comes downstairs, sees me, and goes pale. I mean, white as a ghost. He stares at me, stammers, and looks guilty. At that point, I'm like, there's something up. Not 2 minutes later, his brother comes downstairs, and he has a hickey, well, several, on his neck. He greets me stiffly, says that he's got to run back home to his girlfriend. My husband doesn't acknowledge Marcus leaving, when usually they hug and linger. They're very close, have always been ever since I met my husband about 10 years ago. What was that about? I asked my husband. He's very evasive, dodges the question, and says that they had a row. I press on the matter, asking what they fought about. Nothing, he tells me. Now, irritated, I kept pressing and pressing. He finally relents, saying that Marcus cheated on his girlfriend and that the woman he cheated with escaped via window. We have a one-story house, so kind of plausible, when they heard my car. I was suspicious, but I assumed that he was lying about the car thing and that he'd seen or heard me in the house and alerted his brother and his mistress. Marcus cheating on his girlfriend is not fine with me. His girlfriend is my friend too, and she's amazing, working the front lines of this effing COVID pandemic. My husband tells me he has to do some work and that he is a client, which was also true, so he wasn't lying about that. I was still a bit weirded out by the whole thing. Marcus lives alone, so why was he hooking up with some random woman in our home? Later last night, I feel like something is off. Normally, my husband would be very excited that I'm home, and every time I've been somewhere, he's been very romantic and initiated sex. Now, nothing. He's very quiet, reserved, and nervous. When my husband takes a shower, I went after him to wash my face and noticed that he too had hickeys on his chest that he tried to cover up when he saw me. I feel sick to my stomach and decided to go through his phone. Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have done that. I was 100% sure he had a guy over too. I'm still reading the conversations between him and his brother when my husband comes from the shower. The conversations are explicit. The reality hit me like a ton of bricks. I asked my husband what's going on and that why is he flirting with Marcus. He tells me it was a joke, just joking between brothers, and it sometimes goes too far. I didn't buy it. I went to sleep because I was exhausted from the trip, and I was woken in the middle of the night by my husband crying his eyes out in our living room. So I went to ask what was wrong, and he told me everything. How he has an on and off relationship with his brother. They started having sex over 10 years ago. First it was mutual masturbation, and then it just escalated into sex. He says it was because of their religious upbringing and that he knew nothing about sex or sexuality until we started dating. My husband or Marcus are not in contact with their parents. They had a falling out about 6 years ago, and I was told it was because Marcus was dating a person of color back then. Well, now I'm thinking they got caught and that's why their parents disowned them. Now I haven't slept since the night and I don't know what to do. I can't look at my husband and I don't know if I should tell Marcus's girlfriend about all of this or what. I want to leave my husband at the same time I don't. Should I contact their parents and ask what really happened 6 years ago? Is this something a therapist could handle? Is our relationship salvageable? Cheating is not something I'd break up over, but I can't shake the slimy feeling that I have. My husband had sex with his brother, and yes, they have the same parents, so they're not stepbrothers or anything. Of course, I've been thinking about the relationship my husband and Marcus had when they were younger. Like I said, they've always been very, very close, but I should have seen the red flags. I should have known. Something weird happened just before we started dating, and now I'm thinking it wasn't as innocent as it seemed back then. I'm lost, I'm confused, I don't know what to do. I can't talk about this to my friends or my parents, and I'm starting to think about unaliving myself so that I wouldn't feel this way. Oh my God. And that is a lot to unpack. Okay. We're going to read the additional information from OOP and her comments. 1, I'm making one small update now and I'll return sometime tomorrow. A few things has happened now. I asked Marcus's girlfriend to come and see me later today. It's nearly 1 a.m. here currently. She agreed and said, I think I know what's going on. My husband said he's not coming home. He tells me he's at a friend's house, but I know he's not there because I contacted said friend, and I'm assuming he's at Marcus's place. I'll contact a therapist first thing Monday. I have written an email and I'll send it early Monday morning. My husband told me a bit more, but he claims that it all started from him. I don't believe it. I think he's lying to protect his brother. Marcus left me a voicemail saying that he can explain the situation. He did explain it, telling that it was this time, one time only. But he didn't know that my husband had already told me that he's been doing it for over 10 years. It all started when my husband had just turned 13 and come out as bi. I feel very sad and angry. I almost drove to Marcus's house because I wanted to yell at him. For those claiming my husband is gay, it's not true. He came out before anything sexual happened with Marcus. I texted their parents and said I wanted to talk with them and said that something bad happened, but their boys are all right. I'm not all right. I asked a friend to come over to our house an hour ago, and I showed this post to her. She's very angry and says that we have to get my husband to therapy, like some of you kind souls told me. Thank you, everyone. I'll answer to your comments when I've rested. I need sleep and food. Okay. So some relevant comments. So your husband was 14, 13, and his brother was over 20. That's a huge red flag. 20-somethings are not supposed to have sex with 13-year-old kids. No way in hell. Are you/your husband sure it's always been consensual? Isn't that the whole point? Like, it's not consensual because he's 13 years old. Like, that's literally statutory. So OP said, I didn't even think about this. I don't know what to think anymore. I agree that the age gap is a huge issue. Well, I think I have to talk with my husband when he comes back home. I don't know where he is. I'm assuming at Marcus's apartment. We don't have kids, thankfully. I feel stupid for being the most hurt about the lying. I still am not sure if I should tell Marcus's girlfriend. Obviously, the coffee's not working because I'm tired. All right. Update. This is 2.5 months later, October 10th, 2020. First of all, thank you everyone for your comments. Second, I'm sorry this took so long. I've been extremely depressed lately, unable to even go to work. I was laid off due to COVID, although I know it's because of this situation. Late July, after I posted my original post, I contacted a therapist and got treatment for my husband. I decided not to file for divorce. I also told Marcus's girlfriend what had happened. She knew already, which was such a betrayal in my opinion. We are no longer friends, and I haven't seen Marcus since July. Unfortunately, in the middle of August, my husband committed suicide. I'm writing this depressed, lonely, and so angry. Law is clear on situations like this. Consensual incest is okay, so there's nothing that I can do anymore. My husband died, and his secrets and the truth died with him. There's no evidence that Marcus ever raped him, even though that is what my husband told me. He didn't get a chance to tell his therapist. I'm alone, so alone. All my friends have left me because they think this was somehow my fault. My husband's parents are not happy. I wrote in my previous post that I was thinking my husband and Marcus got caught. They did. Their parents told me as much. I don't know what else to say. Thank you for the kind words and the support that I got. I wish things had gone differently. Okay. So this is the last update, and this is the most recent one, which was November 9th, 2023, 3 years later. July 2020 seems so far away now, after everything. August 2020 is when my husband unfortunately decided to end his life. October 2020 is when I last wrote an update. It's been well over 3 years now, but after all this time, the grief remains. I miss my husband dearly, and I'm devastated that he isn't here anymore. I have now moved far away from everyone. I'm living in a different country now, and I'm happy, I guess. Things could be worse. I'd like to thank everyone who contributed to my initial post. I'm now in a better place, for sure, but I still miss my husband every day. His smile, his laughter, his kindness. A lot has happened after my last post. Mainly, Marcus is now dead too. He was drunk, went for a drive, and drove himself into a tree. I was, and I am, sort of happy about that, even though I guess I shouldn't be. I have my suspicions that he aimed for a tree on purpose. I can't say for sure, but that's what I think. Anyway, I will never return to this account. Therapy has helped me, but not enough. I'm scarred by what happened, and I'd like to spend the rest of my life away from this horrid thing. When I die, I'll be able to see my husband again. I hope he's waiting for me on the other side. Once again, thank you, everyone. It's time for me to finally move forward. The way that started out as like, what the fuck story, and then it ended as like a, I'm literally so sad story. Like, I just can't even believe that this story is real. Like, not saying I don't believe it, but like, this is like the craziest, I feel like this is the craziest story that I've ever read in my life. Like, not only is it crazy that they were sleeping together, but then the husband unalives himself, and then the other guy probably unalived himself too. Like, what's happening? What happened to this? Like, what happened to these kids when they were growing up? These parents, what, like, I need to know the background information on these parents. Like, they had to have raised these kids in some chaos environment, because, okay, some of the comments, the parents' only reaction to this was, "We are not happy." And then someone else commented, "Flowers in the attic." I was just about to say this very This sounded very up VC Andrew's alley. And Marcus's girlfriend knew. My brother's wife knows that he raped his sister and she doesn't care. I always pause before that word because I don't like saying that word. I feel like it's triggering to some people. So sometimes I think I should say something else, but I don't know. I haven't had a single person care in real life. People show outrage on the internet because incest hasn't actually impacted their lives. Knowing someone and hearing they allegedly R-worded their siblings is not something anyone can prepare for, and most people handle it incredibly poorly. I wish much negative luck in your brother's direction. I'm so sorry. Thanks, I appreciate the support and your outrage at Marcus's girlfriend, even if I came in with a downer comment after. I mean, if I knew something that happened like this in real life, I would surely be outraged by it. But I've just never known anyone with this situation. I think that's like the biggest disconnect there is like maybe because people don't know, but I guess in that situation it's different. Oh, take my meds. I never actually take my meds at this time, but we love the reminder. So, yeah. Literally what? It's just... Talk about a downer story, for real. Like, it's good. Okay. Okay, let's read this story. I don't know what this story is going to be. I am like nervous kind of, but the title isn't that bad, so I hope that it's a little bit better than the last two. Am I the asshole for my refusal to attend my sister's wedding? Older sister, 41 female, is getting married to her partner of 3-ish years in a month. Older sister and her partner both have children. My sister has a 14-year-old boy and a 10-year-old girl. Her partner has a 14-year-old girl, 13-year-old boy, and 11-year-old girl. The relationship is controversial. My nephew, 14, has been having trouble with the 14-year-old girl since the 3rd grade, and this actually escalated when they were doing virtual classrooms. She would write a lot of insults about my nephew and use the voice feature to target my nephew. But still, my sister and her partner started a romantic relationship and even moved in together. My nephew expressed a lot of unhappiness about this. So did his grandparents. Bio father's parents, he's not involved, but they were always very generous in helping my sister with my nephew. My sister stopped all contact with the paternal grandparents as a result of them speaking up. When my sister and her partner got engaged, my nephew didn't take it well. There was a public scene where he told everyone present that she was marrying his bully's dad and didn't give a shit about him. My sister was furious. Nephew was devastated that his mom was marrying her partner, even knowing how he'd feel. My sister didn't want to hear from anyone, including me, that it was a bad idea and she risked losing her son. She told me he didn't get to dictate her life and they'd deal with the bullying, but he was being unreasonable about everything. I told her my nephew deserved space away from the girl, and she told me he can't pick his family and siblings fight sometimes. 2 months ago, my nephew ran away. He was gone for 2.5 weeks, and we were searching everywhere. He wanted to go to his grandparents, but worried that they'd get in trouble. CPS interviewed when he was found. What? CPS intervened when he was found, and my nephew was removed from my sister's home and was given a placement with his grandparents, which was his first choice. I talked to him since, and he said he was glad that he was removed. He said he had been prepared to keep running away, and he told a social worker that and more. We're in touch frequently, and I get to visit him. My sister could visit, but my nephew doesn't want to see her. But she's proceeding with everything like normal. We fought over her picking the relationship over my nephew. She told me I'll never understand. My invite came in the middle of all this, and I RSVP'd no. I made it clear I would not attend this wedding after everything that's happened. My sister and parents told me I should put aside the family troubles and attend or risk the relationship forever. I told them I stand by my nephew over my sister. Am I the asshole? Oh, do I have some words to say? First of all, I have divorced parents, so let me tell you, I know about the not liking not wanting your parent to be with a certain person, which for me in a lot of cases it was more like because I was young and like I just didn't want my dad to be, it's typical. Like I was literally such a baby. I was literally 4 years old when my parents got divorced. I barely even remember it. Like I remember very, very little bits and pieces of it. And I just remember this is some lore I don't think I've ever told you guys. Have I? I don't know. But so let me just say, my brother, my sister, my dad, and my mom, when they were married, all lived in this house together, okay? Cute little house by a school district, really like family friendly. We were friends with a lot of people on the street, like all the neighbors and stuff. So across the street from this house that I lived in with both of my parents while they were married and my brother and my sister was a family of 4, 2 girls and the mom and the dad. I was really good friends with the 2 girls. I was obviously so little at the time, but like I would go over there a lot, and they had a daughter that was close to my age. She's like 2 years older than me. And yeah, we would hang out with them a lot. We were really good friends with them. My brother was good friends with all of us, the older sister mostly because they're more close in age and stuff. But so a scandal happens. I'm not sure if everyone even knows this, so I don't really want to out my family, but I think you can kind of guess what happened. I feel like everyone can kind of guess what happens, but maybe I'm the last person to find out because I was I obviously knew the situation as it was happening, but I was so little that I didn't know the details of it. So long story short, my dad and the lady across the street get married a couple years after my parents got divorced. And I think you can kind of guess what happened. I think, right? And they're still married. I love, obviously it's been so many years. It's been 22 years now since my parents got divorced was 22 years ago, and then they got married maybe 17, 18 years ago. I don't know, maybe longer than that. And yeah, so after my dad got married to the neighbor lady, obviously I loved the 2 girls. We were best friends. So it wasn't that, but it was just that I was so young. I was 6 or 7 years old, and I loved my mom so much. And so him getting remarried to someone else, I would always I told him, I would literally tell him I don't want you to marry her. I don't want you to be with her. There was just so much drama because I was always telling him, I don't want you to marry her. I don't want you to marry her. And at that point we had already lived with them, but I was no, don't marry her. But I had no good reason for that. I literally was just a little girl that was loved her mom so much and felt like it was hurting my mom, but I didn't really even know how my mom felt about it. Other than obviously they would kind of talk shit about each other. They were divorced, what can you expect? I feel that's not the craziest thing in the world. But yeah, so that's some lore about my family, which obviously now I'm older and growing up, I was so close with my stepsisters, and I love my stepmom so much. So and my mom and my stepmom get along really well. They talk pretty often. Everything's good. My mom and my dad get along well. But yeah, that was just some drama. That was some neighborhood family drama, some crazy shit. And I didn't really know all of the details until a couple years ago, and I was what? Some drama, honestly. We should have had a reality TV show. That would have been a really interesting show. But yeah, and then obviously my mom dated guys growing up, and I would always be don't like him. And then some of them I would love. There was this one guy that I loved, and he always bought me stuff. like electronic, really expensive stuff. He bought us all like the really expensive stuff for some reason. I don't know. And he was so nice, and he would take us sledding and stuff, and I loved him. And then obviously there were guys that I would like, no, don't like him. But yeah, so this is really sad though, because obviously when you're dating someone as like a single mom, I feel like, in my opinion, the first thing that you want is for your kid to approve. And if he has good reason, like, why would you choose? I would never do that. If I had a 14-year-old son and this was the situation that was happening, I'm sorry, but that's really fucked up to me, to just completely, to almost be like, okay, like, thank God, like, he's not my trouble anymore. And then, like, continue. Oh my God, sorry, excuse me. And then, like, continue to get married to this guy and just be like, I don't really give a fuck about my kid anymore. He's not my problem. I'm just going to continue. You'll never understand. Like, that's fucked up to me. And I will never, ever, ever stand by a woman that chooses their partner over their kid, which I feel like it's very common, a lot more common than people might think. Because, and I'm not saying this as a bad thing or not or anything, but I do feel like in a lot of situations, women that are like older, she's 41, she has kids, they tend to settle. Honestly, a lot of women tend to settle, to be honest with you. Like, they tend to settle, and if that means losing something this like important, obviously like your own child, they don't really care because they just don't want to be alone, you know? Like, I've known people like this, and I've known close people to me that like definitely settle because they don't want to be alone anymore. And like, to me, that's just, it's, I understand, but it's very, very, very silly, because I think you would be much better off being happy and not dating someone or with someone, like happy and single. But obviously I don't know like her relationship. She obviously loves this guy, so that's like not the case. But the fact of the matter that the son is like severely affected by this, no, it's not okay. And if that were me, obviously that's a very hard situation, but before it gets too like deep, before you get too deep into it, I'm sure that this guy already, or this guy, not this guy, this kid probably voiced his opinion right away, right? As soon as he figured out that they started dating or whatever. And then you didn't break up with him, you just continued, like, because obviously now it's hard because you love him, you've been dating for a while, you're about to get married or whatever. To me, it's just really fucked up. Like, you should have just ended it in the beginning, but no. That just sounds desperate to me. Like, why would you ever risk losing your son, your own child, one of two children that you have, and you're just the only children that you're ever gonna have in your life, probably, because, I mean, you could technically have a kid, but it's very low chances at that age. So I don't care what anyone says. I'm standing firm in the belief that that's fucked up, and that she should have never, ever, ever even continued a relationship with someone knowing that this is the situation and this is how the little boy felt. I think that it's completely inappropriate that you would, especially knowing that this girl was bullying your own son, you really think like you want to be involved with that? You want to be involved with someone that was bullying your son? Like, that's so fucked up. And then he clearly feels so strongly about it that he ran away and didn't want to be with you and never wants to see you again and wants to be with his grandparents. Like, girl, you're fucked up. And I'm not sorry about it. Okay, let's see what the people are saying. Not the asshole, good on you for standing your ground. I'm not sure she'd want you there either with how easily she cuts off people for disagreeing with her decisions. Your sister will probably just live however she wants, unfortunately. Just continue to be a good support system for your nephew. The relationship between him and your sister will be a consequence of her own actions, and it's on her to own up to it. She wants them there for appearances. After all, what will people say if they don't look like one big happy family? Not really sure how she sees that working if her son isn't there, but her son missing from the event can be chalked up as an asshole teenager being an asshole. Her son and OP missing, people are going to talk and connect the dots, not the asshole. And wow, my parents would have boycotted the wedding too, not tried to get OP to play happy family. Exactly. Can't have everybody at the wedding realize what a crap mother the bride is. Now can we? 2 generations of crap parents present here. Don't forget the grandparents. They probably won't go either. And it's going to come out eventually about what's happening with her and her son. It'll come out, and when it does, it'll make her look even worse than her son not attending the blessed wedding. I don't think we've heard the last of this from OP. I would also use another tool. Wait, what? I hope this is what happens, but I'm not so sure. She's an adult, he's a kid, and her priority is herself. She doesn't even feel guilty about this. I think she'll have no difficulty controlling the narrative and getting people on her side. I would also use another tool if OP's sister is able to twist the narrative to victimize herself. Social media. I would blast the ever-loving shit out of her on all my platforms. LOL, you're just as petty as I am. This is the easiest, not the asshole I've ever voted on. OP, your sister is a horrible mother and person. As a parent, you put your kids first because they need our protection, but instead, she puts getting laid first instead of her son's mental health. I find her behavior quite disgusting, and I'm glad OP's nephew is his grandparents and OP to have his back. Not the asshole. More people should be boycotting this wedding. Honestly, T. And the way that I would not give a fuck, I'd be like, okay, risk losing the relationship forever. The relationship is already lost. Like, I don't give a fuck. I'd be like, bye. The fact that you made that decision and that you picked this man over your own kid, that alone would make me want to be like, goodbye. For real. Like Serena would say, you made your bed, now hump in it. Because you fucked up. And it's really sad. I feel really bad for that little boy because that's just like such a terrible situation and to be in, to feel that your own mother picks a man over you, her own child. Like, ugh, it's disgusting to me, truly. Okay, this is gonna be the last story that we read. My mom thinks it's wrong that my husband changes our daughter's diaper. Hi everyone, my mom, 52 female, has been making comments since I gave birth that she thinks it's weird my husband, 26 male, changes our daughter's diaper. I, 24 female, gave birth October 2023. From the moment I found out that I was having a girl, she kept making comments. Don't let anyone change her diaper unless it's me or you. Don't let your husband change her diaper, etc. Well, a month ago, my husband was changing her, and she said, that's so weird that you let him. I never let any man change your diaper. She just kept making weird remarks. Well, today she said, I think it's so weird that a mother lets her husband change a daughter's diaper. It's like they're asking for something to happen to their daughter. My husband is only home on the weekend because he travels for work, so he only changes her maybe on Saturday, Sunday a few times, but my mother thinks it's so odd. I called my dad and she said he changed my diapers all the time when I was a baby. So why would she not act that way with my dad but acts that way with my husband? My cousin, who is a male, also has a daughter and changes his daughter's diaper too, and she thinks that this is odd. She claims no male should be anywhere near a baby girl. I have 2 brothers who have boys, so she doesn't have a point of view from them because they have sons, but she thinks it's fine that they change their son's diaper. To me, it's odd someone thinks this way. I feel if you can't trust someone to be around your daughter, then they shouldn't be in your life. I trust my husband 100%, but my mom has an ick with any man changing their daughter's diapers. My question, should I just ignore her comments or what? Edit, hi everyone, I do defend my husband. We already do low contact with my mother. My husband already doesn't like my mom. My mom is calling every man basically a horrible human. My husband tells me to ignore her ignorance. I replied to her and said, my husband is a great father and I wouldn't have married and had a baby with a weirdo. Why have a baby with someone if you can't trust them? And her response was, men think differently and you know that. I don't trust anyone to change my baby's diaper except me. Okay, so the thing is, what happened to this woman that made her so traumatized? Because I understand the smear campaign on the men, if I'm being totally honest with you. But obviously, not all men are bad men, okay? I hate to admit it, all right? Fine. They aren't. And clearly, like, what? You can't just think that you can't just be like, you should not be changing your daughter's diaper. No, actually, that's like, if anything, that's like the most amazing thing ever. If the dad is changing the daughter's diaper every single day, like, please do something, you know? I mean, the mom already has to do so much, like, so, and also, he's barely even home, so that makes it even more like, change the damn diapers. Change them. But I don't know. It's definitely a weird take, but like it sounds like maybe something dramatic happened with her or something when growing up. I don't know. But it's definitely weird to be assuming that something weird is happening between your son-in-law. Like, to think that badly. I mean, I guess it seems like they don't have that great of a relationship, so. But it's definitely so weird, her saying, like, men think differently, and you know that. I don't trust anyone to change my baby's diapers except me. But you did, because you let your husband change the diapers, so you clearly did. And, yeah, I don't really know how to feel about this, because obviously, like, I don't have all the information, so it does seem like something maybe happened and that made her, like, very untrustworthy of men with children, and maybe that is, like, what is, like, some trauma in her head or something. Obviously, she should not be projecting this onto her daughter and her daughter's husband, and, like, saying these things is definitely inappropriate. Like, what is it called? Assuming or insinuating, kind of, that, like, your son-in-law is doing inappropriate things to your granddaughter is very inappropriate in of itself. So, okay. But they're definitely not creeps. Please, for the love of God, change some diapers. Like, the fact that the crazy thing is, like, men are always so praised for doing, like, anything. It's like you see a man pushing a stroller, people are, like, bowing down to them. You see a woman, like, breastfeeding and someone's like, ew, why are they breastfeeding? Like, men are praised for that shit. But women, on the other hand, they're judged if they are doing even, like, the slightest thing, even just a little bit wrong. Like, taking time to yourself, which isn't wrong. I'm not trying to say that's wrong. Taking time to yourself, like when you have a baby, wow, you're a terrible mother. Can't believe you would do that. But, like, a man holding their baby, you are God's gift to this earth. Like, that will never be a thing with me and my husband. Things will be split 50-50. And when I tell you 50-50, I mean 50-50. And I don't give a shit. I need my husband to be as involved as I am and care as much and do as much as I do for the child, because there's just no way that I'm being the default parent. That's fucked up to me. I hate that. I hate that the mom is always the default parent. And it pisses me off. Like, come on. Come on. Okay. Some of the comments say, your mom needs to cut that shit out. Men help make the babies. They can help clean the baby's shit and vomit. I bet she doesn't feel that way about women changing boys' diapers either. She thinks it's only right for women to change diapers because men are creeps. Which is honestly true. Most, you know. Well then, time to cut the cord and ignore her nonsense. If anything, sexualizing diaper changes makes her creepy. Yes, this is very true. Sexualizing diaper changes makes her creepy. Like, thinking about that is very creepy. So stop thinking. Like, the fact that your mind goes to that when you're, like, thinking about changing a little girl, tiny baby's diaper. But that's when it comes back to, like, what happened. What traumatized her so bad that this is what she's always, like, coming back to, you know? It almost seems like there's more to the story. It's weird that she thinks men are creeps but willingly had babies herself with one. You need to nip that shit right in the bud. Now she's accusing your husband of being a pedophile. You get that, right? This is so unfair to him to have to be subjected to this. Do better, OP. If I were your husband, I wouldn't want your mother involved in my life or my home or my daughter at all. One bogus accusation could destroy my life and yours forever, even if it doesn't result in legal proceeding. So by logic, your dad is a creep. Ask her how she feels that your dad changed your diapers. Your mother is the creep here, assuming everyone thinks like she does. She's surely a shitty mother. Oh, is she? Like, I completely agree with, like, these people. That is very creepy. But like I keep saying, I feel like there's more to the story. Like, what happened to her that she's thinking this? You know? Like, I almost, like, I hope, obviously, this isn't, like, coming from a personal experience. But we'll see. I don't know if there's ever going to be an update, because I'm not really sure, but we'll see. But I definitely don't agree. I don't think that all men are creeps. Okay? Most men are creeps. Just kidding. I don't want to be like I hate men podcast, but I have a boyfriend myself, so I obviously don't hate men. I'm not sexist, but sometimes I do hate men sometimes. Just because, you know, they're crazy sometimes. Like, they're out of pocket sometimes. The way that they were wired, the nature of it all, sometimes it just gets me. But anyways, that's going to be the last story that we are reading. I'm going to go film a true crime episode after this so that I have one for Monday. If you guys are interested in true crime, I'm also doing true crime videos on Mondays and Thursday mornings at 8 a.m. And these videos, obviously, as you know, come out on Tuesday. These regular videos is what I'm talking about that you just listened to, okay? These types of videos, they come out on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m., Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., and Friday morning at 8 a.m. So I have a video for you Monday through Friday. The true crime ones aren't really popping off as much as I really thought that they would. Obviously, like, true crime is so different than what I'm usually reading and probably what you're used to hearing, but it's okay because I do think that true crime is just so interesting and I am enjoying making the videos, so we're all good. But if you like true crime, I've been uploading a few. And I love you guys, and I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Let me know your thoughts on the stories. Let me know which one you thought, like, was the craziest, because those were some crazy stories. Specifically, the first two were very crazy. And I hope that you guys have the best day ever. Happy Friday. I love you so much. And I'll talk to you later.